It's time for another Bible-thumping wingnut Google Hangouting podcast with Matt Slick from carm.org.
Getting back to Jason's follow-up question. You're going to have to remind me of it, Jason. The one was do I believe that objective reality exists?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that was the initial question.
Yeah, and then I was going to ask you to, if you do, to then how do you justify that from your subjectivity?
Okay. I accept that there is objective reality, and I take it as a basal assumption that philosophically doesn't need justification. It's somewhat axiomatic.
Okay, so would you accept it if I said that it's true that God exists because it's axiomatic?
For you, yes.
Okay.
That's subjective, not axiomatic.
What's that?
That's subjective, not axiomatic, if it's true for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, I'm not talking about the objective reality of something existing. I'm talking about what is axiomatic that I build my justification upon. So you can take different things. I'll even call it an assumption. It is an assumption of mine that objective reality exists. So if we want to obviate the use of the term axiomatic.
Would you concur that you have to have that assumption in order to actually function within reality?
That there's an objective reality. Unless you wanted to present a case for hard solipsism, which I can't, nor do I want.
I mean, interject. I don't think people have to know that or believe there's objective reality in order to operate. People all the time don't operate consistently with logic and things. They can work inconsistently.
Well, my argument
was this question as like
Yeah.
day-to-day processes, like stopping at a red light, going at a green light, trusting that people who have the red light will stop as well when your light is green, and simple things like that. So objectively, I think that there are things outside of my skin, and my senses and reasons interpret them, and there is a consistency across the human minds that I accept that exists, that are objectively real, and we all exist on a planet that is one of many planets around the sun, that is part of a solar system, that is a part of many solar systems in the universe, and all of that stuff. That makes sense to me. Now, the abstracted things don't matter whether I stop at a red light or go at a green light. I was talking about the more local part of my explanation. That's how I understood Jason's question.
Well, I see a distinction between a claim and a belief. You can make the claim that you don't believe objective reality exists, but my point is you can't actually believe that because you couldn't function within reality from that particular belief. So it's simply a claim. So I think that when you say that you assume objective reality exists, I think that yeah, you do. You do have to assume that because you can't function within God's reality without that assumption. And I don't believe from the Christian worldview that you can actually justify that assumption, and as you agree, it's an assumption on your part. I believe that particular assumption is justified within the Christian worldview. I believe that you're holding to it. You're holding to that assumption. You, in fact, are claiming that you have it, but I don't think, as you admit it, it is an assumption on your part, so it's just something that you have to assume, but you can't give any justification for it.
You're right, and I'm okay with that.
I believe that you're holding to it. You're holding to that assumption. You, in fact, are claiming that you have it, but I don't think, as you admit it, it is an assumption on your part, so it's just something that you have to assume, but you can't give any justification for it.
You're right, and I'm okay with that. You're right, and I'm okay with that. You're right, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with that.